Here we go. Get ready to have a good time. This is exciting, isn't it?
All right, we're on. Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Podcaster? Podcaster?
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Garry Meier.
Breaking news at 6, the GarrForce has a news toaster. We couldn't afford a news tower like local TV stations. Anyway, it's the January 28th, 2022 edition of the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour Live.
Cocktails, woo, drinks.
We went wheels up at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain, 3 Pacific, and so on. Of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. For those new to the show, Garry podcasts 5 days a week. All shows are available on GarryMeyer.com, where you can sign up for the longer Tuesday and Thursday premium podcasts. On the website, you'll also find Gary's blog, merchandise, and even the Cocktail Hour live shows. Comments are welcome on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch while we're live streaming. You can always text Garry at 773-888-2157. Regular charges apply. The GarrForce Live YouTube channel is the best place to stream all of our live shows and to catch up on those you may have missed. Please take a moment now to click subscribe on YouTube. It's free, and if you click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button, you can be notified when we're live. If you scan that QR code on the screen, it will take you there right now. Also be sure to like and share the show on all of your favorite social media channels. It helps the show, and if you've done that already, thanks! Now, fasten your seatbelt, it's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live!
Thank you, Alan Dolinka. He is the fine producer of the live cocktail show every Friday, and he is headquartered in Orlando. And he often likes to tell those of us living in the northern states that he's enjoying comfortable temperatures when we're heading into some kind of shitty winter weather. Thank you, Alan, for doing that. We appreciate you when you ridicule us for having stayed in those climates. But here, the reason we don't care, and on Friday, we don't really care about anything because we drink. That's why we have the cocktail show. All right. And my guest, as you heard in the opening there, will be Jenna Duddleston, and she does a podcast called Bar Talk. This is like having, well, you know, when you see a talk show, say a Jimmy Kimmel has a Conan O'Brien on, it's kind of like that, where a talk show host has a talk show host on. I'm doing that tonight, but Jenna's bringing her drink expertise with her, and we appreciate that. And I think she's going to tell us what the official cocktail should be for the GarrForce show every Friday, and we really are looking forward to that. I know I am. And Leslie will be starting things off officially here after I kick the tires and light the fires to get wheels up. There's one more procedure that has to happen. First, we'll kick the tires and light the fires. What do you say, Alan?
Yeah, it's on the screen. I got a new tire fire.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that is new. That's a new tire. That's a lot of tires on fire. And we're ready to go there. I want to mention that I'm doing a 4 Band-Aid show. One of them is a Band-Aid out of the stack that Leslie sent me. She sent me these Shakespeare insult Band-Aids. The one I'm wearing tonight says, "Beg that thou mayst have leave to hang thyself." That's Shakespeare. He was a kidder. And Leslie, why don't you come on? And I'm going to take a look through the screen door and say hello to some of the people that have checked in. First of all, Keely-Ann. Keely-Ann, first in all the time. What has she said? All right, shortly after Betty White passed away, so did her Schnauzer. Rumor has it the two were buried together. Oh, I did not hear that. She was buried with her Schnauzer.
That seems like the proper thing to do, I would say.
Along with Keely-Ann, we have Matt. And you want to show the T-shirt that Matt gave you?
This is just the latest in a series, but Matt always uses things that I've actually said and turns them into T-shirts. So in this case, we were talking about Apple products and how beautifully they're packaged.
Right.
And if you've ever opened one, you understand. And I said, a good type box, man, you can't beat it. And
The
so,
boxes, the Apple boxes are the sharpest corners of any box you can imagine. There's one right there. Alan is showing how, if you've never seen one, which I can't imagine, everybody seems to have an Apple phone. There it is. Look at that box. That is a tight cornered box. And now you have a T-shirt that acknowledges that.
Apparently, I forgot to show the one that he made back in November. That was for my anniversary. He did a his and hers for me and Tim. So, yeah, Matt, he's a busy boy.
How many? You have a whole closet full of his T-shirts at this point.
I think I have something close to a dozen now, or at least 10 maybe.
All right. Well, that's what Matt does. And Brian just said, let's drop the Luxardo cherries and get going here. Yes, Brian. He's a songwriter, bassist, and vocalist. Checking in, as has Deb from Des Plaines, Illinois. I spent 3 years at a radio station in Des Plaines, Illinois, and it was, I think, some of the best times I ever had on the radio. I enjoyed every minute working at that radio station, now this is back in the 70s, and I know you have to put it in that era as far as money. I was making $100 a week. I swear to God, $100 a week working at this radio station. But that was a lot of money back in the 70s. No, it wasn't. It was not a lot of money, even in the 70s.
Was this a small building on, I want to say, Ballard?
No.
And in the middle of a field? Oh, okay.
No.
I worked
the transmitter was next to a chicken restaurant. And if the transmitter went off, we had to call the chicken restaurant to see if they had power, because then we know if it wasn't a Kentucky Fried. This was a local brand, Chicken Unlimited. You may remember those if you're from the Chicago area. And we'd have to call them to see if there was electricity going to the chicken place. Then we know that we had electricity going to or not going to the transmitter. And that's when I worked in Des Plaines. The building, Leslie, the radio station was in a big office complex in the basement.
Oh,
You're thinking of something else there.
There was apparently Des Plaines is the place for little bitty radio stations.
Yes.
And isn't that how Apple runs now too? If something goes haywire, they just call the chicken place down the road and say,
right.
Hey, is the power on over here?
Our transmitter's off. Do you have power at the chicken place? Now that's glamorous. That's radio the way you like to do radio. David has checked.
Why is radio in trouble these days? I don't know.
This is 45 years ago. David from Oak Lawn, Illinois, checking in. Johnny from Michigan. I hope Johnny's enjoying some of his Tommy Chong roll-ups. He was smoking some dope last week, and I think having a good weekend. Larry, Stephen, Scott, Anthony, Cindy from Wheeling, Illinois. Walter, Blaze has popped in. Let me go through the screen door for a few more. Linda, and Doug, and Katie, and John, and Mac have all checked in. Oh, boy. How far are we from having the screen door up again? Because it's the dead of winter. It really is the dead of winter. And Alan, I know, although Alan said he's going to be experiencing in Orlando the 30s this weekend, and iguanas will be falling out of trees. That's what they're going to have down there, because when the iguanas get cold, they pass out.
Because they're soft, damn it.
Yeah.
Tighten up your ships, you iguanas. So
That's
should
right.
I...
You have not released the condom. What are we doing here? We're how many minutes in? We got to shoot that condom across the room. Let's
and I
do it.
must admit that I had a lot more pressure built up, but I had to taste the wine. It's a nice Joel Gotts. I just wanted to see how...
A what?
Joel Gotts. It's an unoaked Chardonnay today.
Okay.
So,
all right.
There you go. But here we go. Ready?
Here we go.
We got some pressure.
Oh, here it goes. This is going to be good. Wow. Somebody's eye.
Yeah.
Somebody's eye would have been taken out had they been near that. We're going to give away one of those wine condoms and a GarrForce scarf at the end of the show. And we'll tell you what to put in the comment section to try to win those two things in just a few minutes. I want to bring on my guest. Jenna Duddleston is on with us tonight because Jenna does a podcast called Bar Talk. Hello, Jenna.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited.
My friend George discovered your show, and I watched it, and I thought, yes, Jenna is perfect for this show. She likes drinks like we like drinks, and she has put together a drink officially for the GarrForce cocktail show, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And I know there's this dry January fever that happens every year, and I got to tell you, I think this is the worst month to go dry. The only things I want dry during January: the sidewalk in front of my house, the conveyor belt at the grocery store, and the rim around the manual paper towel dispenser at a public bathroom. Those are the only things I want dry. I want everything else moist, okay? Because of all the months that you don't want to be dry, it's this month. It's the post-holiday slump. The bills are coming in for the holidays. It's in a lot of states miserably cold or snowy. And the daylight, while it's expanding, is not where it's, hey, wow, we got a lot of daylight. No, it's not there yet. In a couple months, yes, but not right now. If you want to pick a month to go dry, maybe June, August, where you got a lot of other things that make you feel good, but not January. Although April. What are those months?
Because it's kind of moist already, so you can be dry while it's moist. But
yeah, and we're in the spring at that point, and we can afford to maybe put the cocktails down. Not this month. Having said that, I watched one of Jenna's podcasts, and she was accommodating those who want to go dry. She came up with a cosmopolitan for the month of January, right?
And I had no intention on doing this until I had people reach out to me and say, hey, how do I make this in a non-alcoholic way? And I was like, oh my God, I'm missing an entire market of people. Like, how rude of me. So I reached out to my liquor lady and I was like, I know this is going to sound weird, but do you have non-alcoholic spirits? And she was like, what? And we had one at the one bar that I worked at. I actually have it right here. It's called Seedlip. Seedlip is similar to gin. Like, it has a lot of the like botanical flavors that gin has, but it doesn't obviously have the bite or, the alcohol in it. So I've had a lot of really great people like sending me photos, especially like pregnant women who I love. They're like, I can't drink, but I want to feel like I'm drinking something. So a lot of them will do some of the mocktails. But then I also am like, if you want to make it boozy, just add rum or vodka or gin or whatever your poison is of choice. It's really easy to just throw it on in.
I think it's funny that prior to, I don't know when this thing about pregnant women not drinking and smoking came about. Let's say it was 30, 40 years ago when we got enlightened. Before that, you'd see pregnant women smoking, having a cocktail. And I'm from that generation when there were no taboos about doing that when you were pregnant. And I think I turned out okay, but that's me. I think
you're good. I think you're good.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know about
a lot of people. Yeah.
I don't know about my mom. I was born in 92. So Kath, if you're listening, I mean, if you slip the occasional beer, I'm not shocked. Let's put it that way.
So now we're wiser, and okay, you shouldn't drink and smoke if you're pregnant. Fine. Although I was invested in a nightclub, and when it started to go south, I recommended that we would have nights where you'd give pregnant women free shots just to get that group in. I was looking for anything. I didn't care. This show is Bizarro World in that we don't do any of that. We're the opposite. Say it's snowy out. We'll say if you don't have to go out with the snowy roads, go out and speed and hit the brakes. If it's 10 above 0, don't dress for it. Go out with a t-shirt. We're telling you everything opposite of all the other people that are telling you everything that you should know anyway.
Correct.
We're going to go the opposite way. Meaning we're doing wet January.
What I prefer it, and I think moderation is fine. I mean, that's my personal preference because you go from one extreme to the next. I think most people are like, you think you can get back on the horse in February and you have like one drink and you're just making yourself look really foolish.
Okay.
It is not safe. It is not safe for anyone out there who is going dry and then trying to go from like 0 to 100 really fast.
That's what we're saying, Jenna. Don't put yourself in that situation. Still drink, keep it in moderation, but don't break the chain.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to regroup and it's going to be very severe to get back on that horse because the horse is already running and
Mhm.
you've not been on it for a month.
And
You've
someone's
been
going to get
doing
hurt.
Yes, exactly. You've been doing Bar Talk for how long?
Coming up on 2 years in March.
And let's talk about how you got to doing this podcast. There was a sequence of events that led you to start doing Bar Talk, and I want to hear about it, as I'm sure our viewers do.
Yeah, so we'll say I think all good things kind of stem from something bad, as weird as that sounds. I worked in the service industry for, at that point, 7 years, as a bartender, as a server in some capacity. And there were whispers, musings of this COVID. And I have a lot of family who's in healthcare. And I had asked them, I'm like, should I be worried? And when they had talked about, oh, we're going to, work from home and you can do this. And I'm like, I don't have that luxury. Like, for lack of better words, I'm screwed. So I was at the Southside St. Patrick's Day parade in Chicago. I got the notification that said, oh, yeah, all bars and restaurants will officially be closed on Tuesday, which was the actual day of St. Patrick's Day. And I grabbed a bottle of scotch, which was a very low point in my life, and drank a lot of the bottle, let's put it that way. And I was, the next day, was told that I was furloughed with no return date in sight, no money coming in. And so I said, okay, girl, you get one day to be sad. Like, you have to go through this storm and like feeling this. So you need to just feel it and go through it. So I went through it. And after I had my tiny, tiny little violin and pity party for myself, I said, you need to get out of bed every day. So what do you want to do? And I said, I want to bartend. And I said, well, how can I do that? And I had this idea actually for 7 years beforehand, but I didn't know what it looked like. So I was like, okay, why don't we just try this? Like, I was planning on starting it in a month. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And so it turned into just a reason to get out of bed. And I ended up doing 40 Instagram live shows when Instagram Live was the rage, in 10 weeks. And now it is a full-fledged podcast on YouTube and all, wherever you get your podcast from. And we're making drinks too. So I always say it wasn't the plan, but it's way better than the plan.
And you do one show a week is posted, right?
One show a week, yes, every Thursday.
And you come up with a drink every week. Is the drink an original drink, or are you showcasing some of the faves from whatever we know as the great drinks of
it's a little bit of both. So sometimes I get people that are like, teach me how to make, you love Manhattans. Teach me how to make a Manhattan. What should I know about making a Manhattan? So just quick videos giving you a step-by-step rundown. And then sometimes I like to get creative with it. One of my favorite creative drinks that I've come up with is a beer punch. And it's basically vodka, lemonade, raspberry concentrate, and your beer of choice. And you just put it in a big jug. And it's the best party favorite. And for my very traditional Southside family who only drinks Miller Lite, it's their favorite drink anytime I make it for family parties.
And you come from a mom and pop bar family, right?
I do, yeah. So my mom's parents, well, actually my mom's grandparents started Shinnick's Pub in 1938. So I'm the fourth generation. And I always said, that was my daycare. And I thought that was normal. And it wasn't, to go to the bar after school and sit next to Uncle Edgar as he drank his old style. And then when Uncle Edgar passed away, God rest his soul, I learned he wasn't my uncle, and I was distraught because I was like, what do you mean I'm not related to him? So yeah, I grew up in a bar and I loved it. And there's a lot of history, and it's a really cool family tradition to be a part of that I don't take for granted in any way.
Is your parents' bar still in operation?
It's still in operation, yeah. And I should say it's my mom and her 8 siblings. So it's still in operation. We were very lucky during the pandemic that we own the building. So that was our blessing. And we have tenants above. We have apartments. So we still had cash flow coming in, obviously not the cash flow you would like to have, but we're still here. And I said to my mom and my aunts, I was like, I just don't think we're done yet. I still think we have more to give, and we need more, parties to have and celebrations and couples to meet each other in the bar. Like, so we somehow still need to be here. And, it's not easy by any means. I think any person who has a friend or is a part of a family business knows the difficulties these last 2 years have put on everyone. But I think you have to ask yourself, like, as a consumer, like, where do you want to go in a year when everything's back to normal? Because if it's what I hope is Shinix for some people, like, you got to show us the support now so we can be there for you in a year from now. And that's with restaurants and everything across the board.
And it's called Shinix.
Shinix Pub, yes.
And it's where in Chicago?
In the shadows of White Sox Park. It is on 38th and Union. So go to a Sox game and then stumble on over for a drink and a shot afterwards.
When I was growing up, there was a tavern, and that's what they were called, just about on every other corner. And it seemed like that solidified, that was the center of the neighborhood. Not that everybody was in there drinking all the time, but people could hang out in a place, and it was a neighborhood place, and they were all over Chicago, and they're not as prevalent anymore. And it's good to see these, like your mother's, still hanging in there.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm with you. Like, I love taverns because it's more than just a bar. It is like it's a community gathering, and you don't have to go in and drink. You can just go in there and sit down and talk. Like I was told as a kid, like, if anything ever goes wrong, run into the bar. So as a kid, if anything went wrong or if I needed someone, I ran into the bar. And it really is a community of people that come together. And I think it's they don't exist anymore. They're a dying breed. And I feel like it's a gold mine because so many of them just are gone, and it breaks my heart. But if you have your like neighborhood tavern that you can go to, like, you just got to show them love, man, because they need it probably more than they care to admit.
And you worked for a person who I consider the czar of the restaurant industry, a man by the name of Rich Melman. And he has a number of restaurants in Chicago and around the country now.
Yeah.
And here's a man who started with one restaurant and built this empire. And every one of his places is unique and incredible and just fun to be at. And that experience had to be pretty rewarding.
It was so rewarding. And I started at RJ Grunt's, actually the birthplace of lettuce. I was there for 5 years and loved it. I loved the old school feel of it. And then when I ended up transferring to Pizzeria Portofino, which is on the Riverwalk in Chicago, that's where I kind of really honed in on the like craft of cocktails and learning more about, spirits and wine and all of that stuff. But I'll tell you, I learned more in the 8.5 years I worked at Lettuce than I have anywhere else, because what that family has done, I think they've created the trend and the new norm for what a restaurant is. I always say they understand that you eat with your eyes first. So when you go into any of their places, you're already getting filled up based off of the ambiance that you're in and what it feels like, what the music is like, how the servers are dressed, and people want that too, So it's been fascinating to learn from them. And it's funny because I never thought I would have like taken as much away and like have implemented it into the podcast, but that's part of the drink making. It's like you drink with your eyes first. You smell with, before you're actually drinking something, you're drinking it with your eyes. So it's like, is it visually appealing based off of how it looks? Do you want it? And I think the Melmans understand that more than anyone.
I would go to lunch with Rich or dinner a number of times, and I'd sit there and go, I'm at a clinic. This man is teaching me things as we're having this great food. And he has, like you said, this knowledge, not just about the restaurant business, but of life in general. And I hope all of you watching this have met somebody in your life that gives you that kind of input, because it's just unbelievable when you walk away and think that's something I'll remember the rest of my life.
Yeah, no. And I worked more so with his children, with Molly and Jared, but Rich would still come in from time to time. So it was still wonderful to see like his input is everything to everyone. And it's so fascinating just to see how he holds himself, because when he walks in, honestly, unless you know who he is, you don't know who he is, because he doesn't like stand out, like, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like the man wears Skechers and I think it's awesome. Like the man wears Skechers and it's fantastic. But like learning from his kids has been incredible. And I'm just like seriously so grateful, like for all of the years that I was with them and the amount that I've got to learn and have, taken on with me and what I'm doing now.
One of the things he said to me that I will always remember, he said, what appears today could be quite different in 2 weeks. And I know that might be a different timeline, but what he is saying, things that we're experiencing right now, and you're thinking, well, this is it. I mean, I can't deal with it. Give it whatever amount of time, it could shift, and it could shift dramatically. You don't know. You don't know. Well, you have come up with a drink.
Yes.
That you call, what do you call this drink?
We're going to call it
Snout?
the whiskey. Why can't I say whiskey snout? Yes.
The whiskey snout. And that's how you'll talk after you enjoy this drink. We could call it the streaming Schnauzer if we'd like, though, right? This is something you put together. This is an original.
Yes. So put this together for you guys, and I'm going to make it because I have everything. But yeah, it's really simple to make. And what I love about it was I wanted to take what you said, because you were a big Manhattan guy. So I kind of did a little twist on a Manhattan, because I think for people who are just starting off with cocktails, a Manhattan is a lot if you don't like sweet vermouth. It really is. Like when I first had it, I was like, oh, this is awful. But I've grown to appreciate it more as I've kind of expanded my horizons. But with this guy, we're just going to do a half an ounce of lemon juice. And then the other thing too, when you're making cocktails, guys, is remember to build everything non-alcohol to alcohol. And the reason you do that is if you mess up along the way, you're dumping out the non-alcohol and you're not wasting the booze. So always remember that. That was one of my favorite tricks that I learned while bartending.
Now you're going for the gold there.
Oh,
the Luxardo cherry and the Luxardo cherry juice, they could market their juice as a drink.
They 100% could. I know. And
I can taste it right through the screen.
You can just tell. Yes, we're going to do half an ounce of this guy. Pour it on in the juice of the juice. Yes, just the juice. Half an ounce of triple sec. Also, if you don't have triple sec in your house, like triple sec, Grand Marnier, have something along the lines of it, because it's just a very simple liquor to add to any cocktail that you have. And this is a staple, I think. We then got sweet vermouth. Again, I'm not a fan of sweet vermouth, but in this one, I was like, okay, I'm not mad about it.
That's all right. What makes the world go round and stumble. Yes. Whatever we like.
Yes. And then lastly, you're going to do 2 ounces of whiskey. So this is my favorite whiskey. It's called Uncle Nearest. If anyone is a whiskey fan and you don't know this, go out and buy this right now.
Really?
The backstory is incredible. The man, Uncle Nearest, is who taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey. So he was a once enslaved man who became this, back in that time, Black people and white people weren't friends, let alone working together, let alone a Black man running a distillery while Jack Daniels went around and sold his whiskey, but he trusted Nearest. And the story kind of got lost in translation throughout the years, but it finally came to light, and they are the fastest growing liquor next to Casamigos, which is George Clooney's baby. So if you are a fan of it, I love the story behind it, but it's also absolutely incredible.
Really good.
It's really good. So we're going to add some ice, and then we're just going to stir it around. I don't know the reason why you stir to shake for whiskey. I have no idea. I was thinking about this earlier, but it just, I don't know, it looks pretty. And again, presentation is everything.
That's
and then we're gonna pour on in, get it on a nice big ice cube if you have one, some fresh ice. And then
I like the big ice cube. Mine is already melted, but about an hour ago I dropped that big cube in there, and I like the big cubes.
Yeah. And then you obviously got to take your cherries.
Luxardo cherries.
Luxardo cherries. And then
cheers. All right.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by how good this is. Because sweet vermouth, I think sometimes can be overpowering for people, but with this, it's just the right amount that it's perfect. And you and everyone who's watching, this is your drink now from here on out.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome.
And there it is on the screen, and I'll use that slide there often as we do the show to remind you of what it is.
We can post it up on your social media as well.
Yeah, it'll be available. It's the whiskey snout or it's the streaming Schnauzer. You call it what you want, but it looks. I'm going to get the ingredients. I didn't have them when we first talked, and I'm going to go out and get them and put that together, and I'll have that as one of my drinks every week. Oh boy.
Perfect.
And I'm trying to maintain a little bit because 2 episodes into the new season of Ozark, and I'd like to watch a 3rd episode tonight if I have the stamina. I think it's the perfect combination, a little buzz and watching a drug dealer try to maneuver around the cartel people. Oh, that's a Friday night. That's me.
It's a Friday night.
That's what I do.
It's
there you go.
Why not?
Jenna, thank you so much. Bar Talk, check it out. And she'll have a drink every week for you if you need one. That's what Jenna does. Appreciate it.
No, thank you, Garry. I appreciate you having me on, and enjoy the drink and have a great weekend.
Oh, I'm planning on it. Jenna Duddleston, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Leslie, I don't know how we top that, but
wine schmine, man. God, that looked really good. Somebody was asking how the Uncle Nearest whiskey prices in comparison to others. I don't know if Jenna's still around.
I don't know either. Jenna, if you're there still, is it expensive? The Uncle Nearest?
It's about, I want to say for this, I paid, it was maybe like $50. That's the 100 proof. And there's only a $10 difference between the 93 and the 100 proof, but the 100 proof is just that much better. And like, it's $10 more, guys. You're already spending the money. Just do it.
It's a special occasion.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you're not, I don't think you're doing this every night. You buy it and this is a couple months supply, maybe.
Yeah.
So you amortize that over a couple months. It's reasonable.
Exactly.
The Luxardo cherries are pricey too, but they're so incredible. They're worth every penny. Yeah.
They're so worth it.
A lot of people are checking in on the Luxardos. Yeah, it seems to be a thing now. Well, because we talk about it all the time, and so they really are.
Costco has them, and I think they sell them in bulk. So obviously, you're going to have like a lot of Luxardo cherries.
Right, the whole trunk of my car is Luxardo cherries.
Exactly, but again, they're obviously at any any not drugstore, liquor store, but they're 100% worth it, as is buying like a good whiskey, because it's something like you said, Garry, you're not drinking it every day. It's for a nice occasion. So
I'm assuming, but you never know. Mary Beth is on the screen. She said you did not say how much sweet vermouth to use. You didn't?
Half an ounce, Mary Beth, half an ounce.
Then we put that. Is that on the screen there, Alan? I think it was in the recipe. Yeah,
I think it is.
Yeah, it's on there. Okay, and I think Mary Beth also said, I think I saw this going by, that her family has gone to your mother's bar.
Oh, I love that, Mary Beth.
Yeah.
Next time, come and ask for me, please. I'd love to meet you.
All right. Wow. I got to say, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I have a ritual, as we've talked about on this program, when we are heading to this show. The whole day is consumed with different things that get my head very zen. During the summer, it's yard work, it's weed whacking, it's leaf blowing, it's all kinds of things. Obviously, the dead of winter can't do that, so I have to look for other things, and I turn my attention, and Leslie knows this because she does this too. We're clean freaks, so we start cleaning. And if you've seen the movie American Hustle, Jennifer Lawrence is with the big gloves. She's dusting to the song Live and Let Die. And I feel like that, where I'm like going around the house and it's a whole thing. I'm building up to this. It gets my mind right. And I know I'm crazy, and I try not to make anybody in the house feel goofy about that I'm doing my thing, but that's what I got to do to get my mind right.
You're setting the table for the day.
Yes.
And on top of that, some of us who are chronic cleaners, it's how we control an otherwise out of control environment. So I don't think we have anything to apologize for. What we should probably do is set up the giveaway. And with
I think I know where you're going, because I saw on the screen somebody said, how about hashtag Jenna?
Oh, well, otherwise I was thinking hashtag bar talk, because there you go.
What do we want? We'll pick one that's an homage to Jenna.
I like bar talk.
Hashtag bar talk. There you go. put that in the comment section to
Yes.
be eligible for the drawing. Hashtag Bar Talk, all one word. And then at the end of the show, the computer will pick the winner of the condom and the GarrForce scarf. Yes.
Guys, I
Wow.
can't believe you're giving away I know you do this, but it's so funny that it's a wine condom. It's hilarious.
Okay. Why don't you tell Jenna the origin of how this came about?
Honestly, it's our next guest or our contributor, and it was Ryan from Wisconsin, whose wife saw these and went, "Oh my gosh, everybody should have a wine condom." And she sent me my first batch, and good golly, I mean, I got a stash of them now.
Oh yeah, she could go all night. Look at her. She's ready to go. She's got a lot of condoms. But that's
and
what we
they're
do,
just so
Jenna.
much fun. Come on.
This is turning into a Seinfeld episode very quickly.
Really? Which one? Which one?
With the sponges.
We're sponge. You're condom worthy on this show. You're
Oh my-
condom worthy.
Is your wine condom worthy? I think we've got a concept going now.
I think
Yeah,
that's the next t-shirt.
And I
Okay.
should let you know, Jenna, too. I used it on a bottle of Prosecco.
Ooh.
And what happened was like a science experiment.
Uh-huh.
These things do expand. It's very cool. So just have some fun with it.
Yeah.
I will. I totally
And
will.
that can be part of your little bar talk thing there, because now you know about wine condoms. Which I'm excited to know that here's a woman who does bar talk and was just introduced to the wine condom on this program.
I just thought, I was like, there's no way they're actually just like they're just like mailing people condoms. Like there's
Yes.
no way. And then I was like, nope, they are. And here it is. And this is
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's what we do. Every Friday, we're doing something like that. And I got to tell you, okay, this is going to be probably non sequitur inside baseball. Before we came on live, we started talking about the movie Whiplash. And apparently I've seen it. Jenna's seen it. Leslie has not. Alan has seen it, right? And Ryan has
seen it.
has seen it. And if you have not seen the movie Whiplash, and you're going to hear in the openings to the shows, I've told Keith, producer Keith, that I'd like to use some of the different drop-ins from those movies being Whiplash, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Wolf of Wall Street. I've told him to concentrate on those movies because they're rich with dialogue that fits perfectly into this show. And Leslie, while I'm saying this, she pulls up, there's a song in Whiplash that becomes kind of the centerpiece of J.K. Simmons going apeshit on these guys in this jazz band. And if you haven't seen it, this song...
They get like
and once
6 notes into it, and he keeps
Right.
stopping.
Once you've seen the movie, every time you hear this song, I don't know how often you're here, you're going to go up, little fast, up, and then he starts swearing and throwing shit. It's amazing. He won the Academy Award, deservedly so. He was unbelievable. In fact, he was so good that when I watch it, and it's one of those movies when it comes up on the cable or whatever, I'll watch it till the end, wherever it is in the movie, beginning, middle, end. I watch the whole damn thing because I'm riveted. He's so good, this J.K. Simmons, that I get nervous. I think he's yelling at me as I'm sitting watching it. He's that powerful. He's that good.
So
All
I
right.
guess I'm gonna have to rent it. I'm the odd man out here.
You have to see
We'll
it.
have a viewing party at my house. Come on over, everybody.
Yes, yes. And play that little bit of that. Do you have it handy there, Leslie?
I'm trying, but
Yeah, I think we can play a little bit of it. And Alan knows that we have these situations where if we play a video, whatever, we get flagged because there are copyright things. But I think if we play just a few seconds of it, and this is the song that is predominant.
commercial. Hold on 1 second. There's more.
All right,
of these,
you want
these
to
days.
pay homage to the sponsors and find it?
Why don't we do that?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Jenna, again, thank you. And
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Uncle Ernest, that's on my list now.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be with the Luxardo cherry jar in the shelf, as that's a nice little thing there, right in my little liquor area.
It's perfect.
And we'll take care of some business here, and then we'll play this little snippet from Whiplash. The fine people at Bettenhausen would like to share this information with you. How about that right now? All right.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I choose you.
Listen to that engine. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Oh, Papa. And David Hochberg, he is the guy. First of all, he's the guy who bought these scarves that we're giving away because that's what he does. He would do this when I worked at this radio station. He'd come in and say, listen, I heard you talking about something. Let me pay for the giveaway of those things because I know the radio station won't, and they didn't. And David would step up, but he steps up in everything he does. And that would be your mortgage, your refi, and all the things that are associated with that. He knows all about them, and his team can help you out. So before you even bother wasting your time calling the bank, those Mr. Potters, they're just waiting to go to lunch. Don't waste your time. Call Team Hochberg for the free consultation. Those are the numbers on the screen, and get their input in anything related to that, the refi, the mortgage. 855-56 David, and you see all that right there on the screen. Okay, because he's the guy. Love David. Love him. All right. Did you find it?
Pick it up at 17. 5, 6, and... Not quite my tempo.
Not quite my tempo. And right at that point,
5, 6, and... Downbeat on 18.
and it starts to build from there. Okay, I might be taking this so out of context that people are going to go, okay. But anyway, this Miles Teller, who's the drummer in this jazz band, is trying to be part of it as a permanent fixture. And J.K. Simmons goes after him, and it's just extraordinary. All right. There it is. Okay, I think we've come to the part of the program where Ryan is going to step in and talk about what's going on in the frozen tundra where he lives.
The people who brought us the wine.
Yes, that was all my
wait
wife.
Wait a minute. Here, Ryan sent me something because you and Leslie have been using these.
Yes.
Look what he sent me.
Oh God! Oh my God! Now you put on the big rubber gloves and you get to clean
Yes, I did. I
it.
did that today, and I got one of these out, and I'm going around the house, and Live and Let Die is playing, and it's crazy time. So you two have been
Here's the
using those
deal.
for a while,
You
and they
can
are
use them
fantastic.
outside. I cleaned the deck railings. I started cleaning deck furniture with it. Oh my God! Once you get
I
started,
know.
you won't be able to
Look
stop.
at how crazy this is. Our Zen thing. We clean, and it's not about the cleaning. It's what it does inside our noggin that makes us feel good. And the result is, look at the result. The nice, clean things we've done.
And now they have the thinner ones. So if you just need to clean a little, I don't know, just a little area, they're not the thick ones. They're little tear off ones. So they've even improved something that was already really perfect.
But they do disintegrate really quickly, these thin ones.
Yeah, they do. You get one use out of them and you move on. They give you how many in a box?
I think it was an 8
or 9.
Yeah,
there are 9 pads in a box. Also, thank you for sending the pizza Band-Aids. I've got that on my.
I didn't know how well those would be. If those would be like if you just nick your arm or something. If they were just more.
They're just listen. I just do it as an affectation. It's just decorative. I don't have any cuts or whatever. In fact, my family is going, "Why are you wearing these Band-Aids? What the hell's wrong with you? And you're cleaning like a maniac. Stop it." Nope, not my tempo. Not my tempo. All right. Oh my God. So much to talk about. I posted this picture of this house in Milwaukee that's on the market. It has 4 toilets in the bathroom, no partition setting 3, 2, 1. No partitions in the bathroom. It's 4 toilets, one next to another. What the hell's that design? And your son saw that, Hank, and said
he refers to that as Bathroom City. He calls that at his Catholic school where all of the toilets and everything are lined. He said, "Dad, that's just like Bathroom City. We should go by and find that house." So
that's Bathroom City. Come on down, folks. We got all these toilets. Take a look. Bathroom City.
Yeah. So he got quite the kick out of seeing that on the house. So,
and Aaron Rodgers went down in a ball of flames.
I see. We're trying to get past that. We're now focusing on baseball. I think everybody's hyping up Bob Uecker's 88th birthday was on the 26th of January. So I think we're just moved past the Packers loss. What's Aaron Rodgers? Is he ever coming back to the Packers? And now we're moved over to the Brewers. So,
And I don't want to cover stuff you're going to cover in your report. So tell me if I'm intruding. Do you have other stuff, or should I shut up? Or
No.
what do you want me to do?
No, I have a little bit. A quick report on some bovine on the road. So that.
Okay. All right. Why don't we run that, Alan, and then we'll talk.
It's Wisconsin, yeah, hey.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan. I can't believe it's the end of January. Are you ready for February and Valentine's Day and all the candy and flowers that go with that? Once we get done with that, we're thrown right into March, and then it's time for Fat Tuesday, and we get to enjoy all those punchkis. When we get to March, I will be doing a live report from the National Bakery in West Dallas, and we'll examine some of those punchkis that we'll get to enjoy in March. Until then, let's not talk about the Packers' loss last week and all of the hate against Aaron Rodgers. Let's focus around a bovine blockade in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. I think it's going to be a growth industry to figure out how to lock trailers and like armored cars so stuff doesn't fall out. This example, there was a farmer going down the road and he didn't realize his cows were falling out of the trailer as he drove. He ended up going all the way into the next county and being stopped by a sheriff's deputy and said, "Hey, I think you've lost some of your cows back near Sun Prairie around Madison." Sure enough, the cows were falling out as he was driving. He turned around and it took another few officers, some hay, and some police tape to corral all the cows. They said they really didn't know how the trailer opened because it was secured. It's kind of like the armored car and the cash flying out. We really don't know how that happens, but all the cows were safe. As one of the Sun Prairie police officers was saying, hey, it was a very serious incident that could have involved some death and some injury, but it was pretty funny too. The farmer's driving along and his cows are falling out. So everybody's safe, and you can rest assured that they're going to investigate why that lock failed on the trailer. Until then, have a great weekend, and we'll talk next week.
But unlike the armored car, people didn't pull over and start trying to grab the cows and put them in their car, right?
No.
Yeah.
And
if
and
they
we had
could,
a little bit
they
of fun
would,
with
though.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of fun with Alan's a new platform with some of those graphics. So that was kind of fun that I found that cow story. But yeah, the guy had no clue that the cows were coming out, and he was already in the next county, and they had to pull him over to realize, hey, your cows are all falling out in the road.
Okay, if somebody can invent a lock for vehicles that is foolproof, sharks, it will prevent money from flying out and cows from flying out the back of your truck. Jesus, why can't that be invented in the 21st century? If we could send a telescope to the bowels of the universe, and apparently when that web is way out there, even more than it is now, we're at the ass end of the universe. This is the ass end. It's going to go to the beginning of time.
Right.
This is the ass end of it. I think we know that by now.
It's a million miles out, but
Okay.
yeah. On top of that, when it comes to the cows, weren't you the one who said that it's really nice when they get out during the holidays because at least they have a place to hide? And
right,
sadly,
they can find a nativity scene and just hunker down.
Not now.
But your Christmas stuff should be down by now. It's over a month since Christmas has been gone. Are your Christmas decorations put away?
Officially, yes.
They are.
Yeah,
they are.
Okay, good. Right.
Yeah. So the cows just had to deal with police tape and a little bit of hay, but that was a funny story. So.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Talk to you next week.
Have a good week.
All
Is
right.
this when we put the couch out on the front porch, though? The old Naugahyde couch?
Yes.
Are we getting into that season? Okay.
Yes, almost. Very close. What do you got, Leslie?
Well, talk about timing. The nation's infrastructure and its inherent flaws were on display today when a bridge in Pittsburgh collapsed just hours before President Biden was scheduled to arrive to talk about the nation's infrastructure. 10 people were hurt, but one local official said the fact that no one was seriously injured is nothing short of a miracle.
That is one of those timing is everything moments. Biden was already scheduled to go into Pittsburgh and talk about infrastructure, and hours before he arrives, the bridge collapses. That's perfect, right?
They said they could smell gas at the same time, so it was like a double dose.
It broke
of
and ruptured some kind of gas line too when it fell.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
fun
And I
times.
heard that Pittsburgh has more bridges than any city on the planet. I would not know that.
Although our guest Jenna confirmed that because she was at a bar trivia and they said that too. So at least
Okay.
somebody is saying that.
All right. Confirmed.
A company in Sweden is putting crows to work. A startup company called Corvid Cleaning is training crows to do light trash pickup in exchange for food. Owner Christian Gunther Hansen developed the training method for the birds, teaching them to collect things like cigarette butts and candy wrappers and then dispose of them in specially designed bins. Once they drop off the trash, the birds are automatically rewarded with a tasty treat. An initial pilot program has proven so successful that Corvid Cleaning is now planning on expanding to various cities throughout Sweden.
Okay, that's incredible. Animals are going to be in charge at some point because when this snow, wherever you're at, and there's a lot of snow around the country, melts, it's just garbage everywhere underneath that snow. We need to, wouldn't you love to go down the highway and see crows picking up cigarette butts and stuff?
Now, if we could just get them to work in unison and get some of those bumpers out of there too, that would be pretty cool.
Oh, yes,
Mr.
lift the
Clean
bumper.
Erasers. Yeah. Wait, what if
Lift
we
the whole
teach them
bumper.
to,
Okay.
and we could
Ooh.
teach them to use Mr. Clean Erasers? That would be
Right. They could peck the Mr. Clean eraser and go around and scrub. Oh, yes. That's not a crow.
Rizzlety Razzlety.
But these guys clean up for food. I mean, that's the
true.
theme here.
Yeah. If there's a carcass on the side of the road, they'll take care of that.
Thanks to some seasoned custom officials, the shipment of cocaine-filled coconuts was intercepted en route from Colombia to Italy. 500 canvas bags containing more than 20,000 cocaine coconuts were discovered during a routine inspection. It appears the milk of the coconut was meticulously drained from each and then replaced with liquid cocaine. Meticulous, yes, but not meticulous enough. An investigation is now underway to determine the shipment's origins and the intended recipients at the port of Genoa.
Cocaine coconuts is a great clown name. Anything coming from Colombia to anywhere on the planet, you can imagine that they're ready and thinking it has cocaine in it. Come on. I mean, they've seen everything. Yeah. Okay. We'll do duffel bags of coconuts. They'll never think it's cocaine. Yeah.
And meet the world's youngest billionaire. Little Momfa Jr. is from Nigeria, and he's only 9 years old. But he already has his own mansion, his own fleet of luxury cars, and a private jet. He owes his massive wealth to his father, Momfa Sr., a well-known international financier with offices in Lagos and Dubai. But Momfa Jr. isn't just some idle rich kid. Oh no, he's up and coming on the internet as an influencer with about 27,000 followers. What does he do? Well, most of his posts involve him showing off his lavish lifestyle.
So it's just his father's money he's living off of.
Right. So he's got this fleet of cars. He can't drive any of them. They say he can't touch the gas pedal yet.
Does he smoke like that kid in Malaysia we saw years ago? That's two, and but he's got the demeanor of a 30-year-old. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you
Kid's
doing?
Kid's 9 years old. He's got 4 women hanging. Hey, how you doing? These are my girlfriends. How you doing? They're 16, 12, 13. Hey, how you doing?
Exactly. His posse should kind of be of a similar age, I would hope.
Right. This is my girlfriend. She's 11. She's hot. Yeah. How you doing? All right. Okay.
Get on the back of the bike. Let's go.
That's it. Get on my bike. Yeah. Come on. Is that it?
Do you want one more? I think I got one more for you.
It's up to you. You feeling good about it?
You know what? I am. A hiker in Arizona is dead after slipping and falling while taking a selfie. We love the selfie stories.
Yes, we do.
21-year-old Richard Jacobson was near the peak of Superstition Mountain outside Phoenix when the accident occurred. His body was recovered some 700 feet below the spot where he stopped to snap a picture of himself with the Phoenix skyline in the background. According to best estimates, some 260 people died taking selfies in the 6-year span between 2011 and 2016. 17, and obviously more have been lost since.
And right in the title there, Superstition Mountain. Are you superstitious? Okay,
Might
go
not
for
be
it.
the place to do this, yeah.
Right. It's going to be superstitious, but you did it and you died. Okay.
Writing's
All
on
right.
the wall.
It is. Let's get that computer going. Hashtag bar talk. And the computer will pick the winner of the wine condom and the GarrForce scarf. Alan, if you're ready, we can push the button.
Yeah, let me try out the new music feature that StreamYard added.
Okay.
Let's get that going
right.
in the background to accompany your singing.
Okay.
Let's see. There we go. All right. Let's see how we do.
Michael Quilty. You're going to go to the mailbox in the not too distant future and have a condom and a scarf in there. Huh?
So
Did you ever think you'd see the day?
All Michael needs to do is to text you at 773-888-2157 or contact your Facebook inbox or your email, GarryMeierShow at GarryMeyer.com.
Let's do that. All right. That's it. Hope you enjoy the program. We're back on Monday with more of what we do. Have a great weekend, and it's time for the cannoli. Take the cannoli, and boy, you talked about the punchki there, Ryan, and I can't wait to put my tongue up in a punchki in a few weeks, but I'll do it in a cannoli in the meantime. Speaking of that, what about the Schnauzer, Leslie?
I'm going to drench
Watch
it
your
in
mouth.
Luxardo cherry juice because I think that's...
Oh my God. Oh, I just got that image. I'm glad it's the end of the show because I got to do something. 3 in the green. Gear is down. The flaps are down. The voice of the globe. Have a great weekend. We have landed.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce